Is grammar difficult? How can I understand grammar? Moreover, I need to know when to use every tense and how to use it. In this video, you will understand one of the most important tenses in English. Do you want to know this tense? Watch this video till the end. Hey everyone, this is Omnia Esmat talking to you. Hope you're doing well. Now you know we are going to explain together present simple tense. So let's start by the usage. Now guys, I ask myself this question. When do I use present simple? And I do not memorize the usages of this tense. I just read some examples and then I try to understand the meaning of this tense. This is example number 1. I live in Egypt. The second one, I work as a doctor. And the third example, I don't watch TV. So why did I use here present simple? Because actually guys, in the last 3 examples, I'm stating facts. Whether a fact about myself or a scientific fact. And to state a fact, I use present simple. So that's usage number 1 for present simple. If you're stating a fact, a scientific fact, or a fact about someone, you are using present simple. I work as a doctor. This is something that I might call as well a permanent status. And this means that I work as a doctor now and I will keep working as a doctor forever. Let's move on to more examples. And this will give us the second usage for present simple. I drink coffee every day before work. I visit my grandparents every week. I usually go to the gym in my spare time. What do you understand here? Exactly. In the last 3 examples, I'm speaking about a habit or a routine that I used to do. And to speak about a habit, we use present simple. So number 1, if I need to state a fact, I use present simple. Number 2, if I need to speak about a habit that I do, I also use present simple. Let's take the third usage by taking more examples. My train leaves tomorrow at 7 o'clock. My English lesson starts next Monday at 6:30. Here guys, if you focus, you can find out that these 2 examples are referring to future actions. And the clue for that I have here tomorrow and I have here next Monday, right? How come that I have tomorrow and next Monday and at the same time I'm using present simple when I said here leaves and here starts? In the last 2 examples, I'm speaking about a future action, but with timetable. And in this case, guys, we don't use a future tense, we use present simple instead. So here, it will be a wrong sentence if you say, my train will leave tomorrow at 7 o'clock, because I have the timetable here in this part at 7 o'clock and in that part at 6:30. Let's have a look at this example and we will try to know a different meaning for present simple. Salah shoots and he scores. Of course guys, that's very clear. In the previous example, we noticed that it's a sports commentary. While commenting on a match, we also use present simple. Let's move on to another example and to add to the usages of present simple. If I'm telling you guys, first, cut the tomatoes, then add some pepper and salt. For example, you need to make a salad and you don't know how to make it. So now I'm giving you with excellent the instructions or the steps. So in the previous example, I give instructions or steps to follow to do something. And to give instructions, we use present simple. Now finally guys, if you're using exclamatory sentences with here and there, then you must use present simple. Now some of you might actually ask, what's the meaning of an exclamatory sentence? Now let's take, guys, these examples to understand. If I'm saying, here comes our English teacher, that's an exclamatory sentence with here. And I can use another one with there. There stands my mother. So we call these two examples exclamatory sentences using here and there, and in these two cases I must use present simple as well. Now I'm moving to the second step in this video, the form of the present simple. And form, guys, it means how can we put the verb in this tense. The form of present simple is quite easy because if you're speaking about I, we, you, and they, you are going to put the infinitive of the verb. And infinitive means that you do not change anything. So for example, if I have the verb play, I'm gonna say I play, we play, you play, and they play. However, when I shift to the three singular pronouns, he, she, and it, I'm gonna follow or add to this verb s or es or ies, and of course we have three cases for these three endings. Now, guys, I need to know when do we add s, when to add es, and when to add ies. We add s to all verbs except verbs ending in some parts like double s, sh, ch, o, or x. So if you find any verb, you can just add s. But if you find verbs ending with this group, you are going to add es. Let's take some examples. Here I have cross. I cannot add s, so after adding the es, I will have crosses. Wash, it ends in sh, so I'm gonna add es, so it will give me washes. Watch, I'm gonna add es, so it will be watches. Go, I'm gonna add es, it will give me goes. And the final verb, it ends in x. By adding the es, it will give me fixes. What about adding ies? This part is very, very important. If the verb ends in y, look before the y. If you find the consonant, what's a consonant? Like P, T, or S, any letter in English, except for the vowels, remove the y and put ies. Let's take some examples. The first example is very famous, which is study. Study, it ends in y, and before the y I have d. And the d is a consonant, right? That's why I'm gonna delete the y and put ies. I have another example here, which is carry. I'm gonna remove the y and add ies again because I found a consonant before the y. So I have another case for the y ending. If the verb ends in y and there is a vowel before the y, what are the vowels? A, E, I, U, and O. Do not, and I'm saying do not, remove the y and then put s. For example, if I have play, it ends in y, but before the y there is a vowel, so I must keep the verb as it is and then add s. Let's take another example. Stay, it ends in y, but before the y there is a vowel. Again, I'm not gonna remove the y, I will keep the verb and add s. Now, guys, we finished the usage of the present simple and how can we form our verb in this tense. The second part or the second step is very important. It's speaking of the negative sentence in present simple. How can I make a negative sentence in present simple? I look at the pronoun. If I'm speaking about I, we, you, or they, we use don't plus infinitive of the verb. Let's take some examples. For example, if I say I eat chocolate and I need to make this sentence negative, I'm gonna say I don't eat chocolate. We don't eat chocolate. You don't eat chocolate. And of course, they don't eat chocolate. But once I shift to the singular pronouns he, she, and it, I will use doesn't plus infinitive. For example, and the same example, he doesn't eat chocolate, she doesn't eat chocolate, and it doesn't eat chocolate if you're speaking about a cat or a dog, for example. Now, guys, after knowing the negative sentences in present simple, we need to know how can we make questions. First of all, guys, we ask a very important question. What are the types of questions in English? There are two types of questions in English. Number one, yes-no questions. Their answer is yes or no. For example, are you Egyptian? Yes, I am, or no, I'm not. And that's why, guys, we call this type of question yes-no question. Number two, I have WH questions, and I use WH words like why, where, and what, etc. For example, what's your name? Why is she sad? Where are you from? So all of these examples are examples for the WH questions. And now let's come back to present simple and ask ourselves, how can we form a yes-no question in present simple? I give you this simple rule to make it easy for you to form the question. I start by verb to do, which is do or does, followed by the subject plus infinitive plus the object. Let's take some examples to make it easier for you. Do you study hard before the exam? If you compare, guys, this example with this rule, you will find out that we follow the same steps. I started with do, followed by the subject, followed by the infinitive of the verb. And the answer is yes or no, so I can say yes I do or no I don't. Another example here, but I shifted from you to she, and that's why I will ask with does. Does she study hard before the exam? Yes she does, or no she doesn't. Forming the WH questions in present simple is quite easy, because if we focus, guys, we will find out that I bring do and does plus subject plus infinitive of the verb. But the only difference that I start this question with the WH word and I remove the object from the question. What do you mean by removing the object from the question? Let's have a look at these examples. What do you eat in your breakfast? So here I started with the WH word, to do, then the subject, and then the infinitive of the verb. And of course, if I eat chocolate, for example, in the breakfast, I'm not gonna put a chocolate in my question. I would remove it. So what does she take in her school bag? The answer is she takes some books, for example. So I cannot put the word books in the question. That's what I mean by removing the object. Now, guys, we are moving to the final step in the present simple, which is time expressions. Now, we are going to read together the time expressions in this tense, and then we are going to know where can I put these time expressions in my sentence. So I have here usually, sometimes, always, often, never, constantly, occasionally, rarely, seldom, and hardly ever. Now, guys, we need to know that all these words come before the main verb, and you must take care of this final part of the sentence before the main verb. Say here, I sometimes go to the club. Go, that's my main verb and the only verb in the sentence actually, so that's why I placed the time expression before the main verb. In this example, I don't only have one verb, I have two verbs, which is verb to do and verb go. In this case, you must focus which one of them is the main verb, and then you place the time expression before the main verb. So that's why I said here, I don't always go to the club. That's another example. She rarely speaks in English. Now, guys, we have a very important trick that you must take care of. Take care that all these words, they only come after, and I'm saying after the verb, not before it. But this is if you find that the verb is verb to be. So normally they come before the main verb. But if this verb is verb to be, we are going to put the time expression after the verb, not before. For example, she is always tired. I cannot say she always is tired. This will be a wrong sentence. Okay, before ending this video, I need to draw your attention to some mistakes that you must avoid while speaking. These mistakes are very simple, but actually you keep making them. When you guys speak about he and she in present simple, he, she, and it, of course, I need you to take care of the S. So here I say he goes, not he go. Because while you're speaking very fast, you can say he go to school every day. And actually it's he goes to school every day. She finishes her homework, not she finish. So take care not to drop the S with he, she, and it. I'd like to say congratulations guys, because we covered everything related to present simple. Of course, do not forget to like this video and subscribe right now and wait for the coming videos from this grammar series. Thank you guys and have a lovely day.